Welcome back. Now a new take on a Shakespearean classic. Macbeth in Stride opens this week at the American Repertory Theatre in Cambridge. And we're joined now by the show's creator and performer, Whitney White. Hi, Whitney. How you doing
Hi.
today?
Good. How are you?
Good. Macbeth in Stride is described as a theatrical event that examines what it means to be an ambitious Black woman through the lens of one of Shakespeare's most iconic characters. So tell us how you came up with this concept.
Well, I mean, it all started with Shakespeare. I have a big love of Shakespeare, and I found his work when I was at Brown University's MFA acting program. And I'll never forget the first time I got to dive into the role of Lady Macbeth. I was so moved by how contemporary she felt. She felt like a very real contemporary woman in a marriage who was trying to get what she wanted out of life and just going about it wrong ways, right? The wrong way. Yet at the same time, so many times I would go see a Shakespearean play in New York or in Providence or across the country, and I would notice how few people on stage looked like me and how rare it was that the world in which the play took place reminded me of the real world that we live in. And then to triangulate with that, I love music and I love concerts. And I always have a joke that I can get someone to come see a concert with me, but it's really hard to give away free tickets to a play. So why is that? Like, why do people love concerts so much? Why do I love Macbeth so much and Lady Macbeth? And at the same time, why is it so rare that I'm seeing the world as I know it reflected on stage?
And it's probably very difficult to give away tickets to see Shakespeare. So it's probably a very good concept to frame this modern story and make it modern, but using a centuries-old character that theater goers are familiar with. It's probably quite a clever way to get people pulled into Shakespeare.
Yeah, because I believe that Shakespeare's for everyone, theater is for everyone, and we should all feel like we're a part of it, and that's really the goal of the show.
So this production is a blend of Shakespeare's language with original pop, rock, R&B, and gospel. Is actually performed by a live band. You know, what made you want to incorporate live music? And when I think of Shakespeare, when they taught us about it in high school, that iambic pentameter in Shakespeare, that cadence that comes out when you hear Shakespearean pieces delivered. So there is a kind of a connection there to rap and spoken word, isn't there?
Yes, and it's all about rhythm. Shakespeare is all about the meter. You're either on it or you're not. You know, he wrote in verse and he wrote in prose. And those long monologues to me feel like songs when you're really doing it. And so it just felt very natural to incorporate music into the piece. And most of the time when you see Shakespeare's work done, there is a musical element. We just took it the next step.
And as we mentioned earlier, you also perform one of the roles in the play, and we have some video of some of the rehearsals. We want you to tell us about the experience for you and wearing both of the hats at the same time. What's it like being on both sides?
Well, first of all, I'm just incredibly grateful and humbled. I have so much love for art and theater, and to have a theater interested in what I'm trying to do, it's just very grateful to do it. I'm lucky enough to have an amazing team. It's not just me. As you can see from the clips, we got a whole family. We have a band, we have a directing team, we have a music director, designers. So, you know, come out to the show for the entire team because we are giving you theater making, I think, in its finest, you know?
As you were translating Shakespeare's Macbeth to Macbeth in Stride, just tell us, maybe pick one of the challenges that you had in making that a seamless effort.
Well, the funny thing is Macbeth, it's not a spoiler to say that it's about someone who wants to be king and queen. We don't have kings and queens today. We're just regular people, especially in the US. We don't have a monarchy, and so it's like, how does that translate? And for me, I just stripped that away. It's about a married couple. Macbeth and Lady Macbeth are married, and you'll see all the ups and downs of marriage with that. And so I think at first that was tough because I'm just a regular person. I'm from Chicago. I'm not a queen, right? But how do we translate like queenly ambition to a contemporary ambition?
Yeah, well, you know, we said at the top that it's about an ambitious Black woman. And so it's very interesting using Shakespeare in that way to show this side of a woman of color.
Yeah, I mean, it's thrilling. Why not? You know, that's always what I say about theater. Theater, if I'm making it now, then it's got to speak to the world I live in right now and to the person I am. And I am who I am. So I think that naturally brings that question to
Okay,
the
so
piece.
Macbeth in Stride is actually the first in a series of 5 plays that you're working on that explore female characters from Shakespeare's works. What can you tell us about the other 4 projects?
Each project has its own unique musical sound. So you're never going to see the same thing twice. Macbeth has a rock and roll and gospel feel, whereas Othello has a blues feel, whereas Romeo and Juliet has a pop feel. I am a true lover of music, so I think that's the most exciting thing about the shows is each woman's journey is scored to a different musical arc.
I can't wait to see the other 4 pieces. Whitney White, thanks for being here to tell us about Macbeth in Stride on stage at the ART in Cambridge. We look forward to seeing you there. Take care. Now we go from Chicago to the South End. A new comedy from playwright Aziza Barnes made its New England debut in the South End this week. We'll have a preview with 2 of the show's stars next.